Welcome back to the channel. Now this video will be a little bit different. I'm going to respond to some of your comments that you've been putting on my videos. Now I got this idea because I saw one by Dan from Mercer Falconry who did exactly the same thing, and I thought I'm going to steal that idea, and I don't think Dan will mind at all.
Fuck you.
So I'm going to start with a video I did quite recently with a thumbnail just said barbaric across the top. And this was where I had a complaint come in that was just so silly I had to do a video on it for a bit of humour and also to highlight the silliness of some complaints we get once or twice a year. And the first comment is from Dosm, who said anybody who was traumatised by seeing birds of prey on their perch should probably seek help. Great comment, and you're quite right. It's not exactly the most barbaric of things to see, is it? Drummer 0790 said, I had a woman the other day tell me that it's disgusting that I put my owl in a box in the boot. That's the rear of the car, if you're not sure. She then proceeded to put her dog in a cage in her boot. The irony. Absolutely brilliant comment. And this is what I say, people will sometimes say that what we're doing in falconry is wrong because of X, Y, and Z, and then they'll go and do something else, which is really the same thing, but maybe with a different animal. And you just kind of think, well, hang on a minute, where's the logic there? And Elizabeth Hedge L4899, who by the way has emailed me, thank you very much, she's from Germany, her and her partner, and amusing comments in the reviews indeed. Traumatised, freezing, barbaric, ruined our day. Gives me the vibe that they don't understand what those words actually mean. I can imagine the owl shivering was actually rousing contently. So rousing, it's a good point actually Elizabeth made there. So maybe they did see it shiver, but it wasn't shivering, it was rousing. It's like a little shake. This is a great way to realign the feathers if they've become a little bit skewy, and also remove any dust particles, any insects on there, things like that. So it's good for the bird in that respect. This next comment was actually put on the UK hawks and how to spot them in the wild video, one of my older videos that's done really well. And it's from Jalon Ron, I think that's how you pronounce it. Nice video, but I thought it was unnecessary to move closer to the sparrowhawk trying to get a better shot. The bird clearly didn't like that. Now, what they are meaning here is this part of the video where I was in a public place and you can see as I move forward to get a shot of this just caught this pigeon. Now I should point out this was actually a very public area and it's on a path where lots of people are walking in and out all the time anyway. Also I did watch and see it jump up to the side on the wall and eat its kill there, and it's something that this sparrowhawk is doing regularly in that public place. So it's kind of not tame, but it's kind of used to people sometimes walking back and forth. They finished with the shot will still be good from a distance, plus a bonus for the not disturbing the bird. I wonder if it managed to keep its kill or through the scene. So yeah, it did get actually eaten that. Of course, I didn't actually film that bit. I sort of walked away, but it's a very good point to make. So I do, really like that comment, because of course you've got to think about wild birds if you are filming them and how close you are. And this comment from Devon Bolden 2496. So another interesting comment here from the video I did a few years ago with Henry, one of our largest birds, essentially just saying what are the benefits of keeping animals essentially. And they put, so I'll read it in the way they've written it. So everybody should adopt an eagle owl because it will extend its life. It's still an owl and it's in a cage. And you have years experience keeping owls, and yet there's no warning to people who might want one but have absolutely no experience. This is incredibly irresponsible. Now, you're quite right. I don't in the video say to people, you must not get an owl unless you know what you're doing and do it properly. But that wasn't the intent of the video. It was just an educational piece. Maybe I should have mentioned that. I apologise if I didn't make it clear. In lots of my other videos, which I'm sure lots of you have seen, I do talk about why it's important to research, prepare, learn, gain experience before getting any bird of prey or any animal really, for that animal welfare element. And I've made that clear in many other videos. So, sorry if it wasn't clear in that one. And they've finished off by saying, by the way, 60 years is the maximum age an eagle owl can live. It doesn't mean that they will all reach that age. It's like saying that the oldest human lived to be 122 years old, therefore all humans will reach that age. The statement is misleading. Well, if you watch the video, I had to watch it back to remember what I'd said. In it I say eagle owls can live, not will, can live. So actually, it wasn't that wrong. I did say it exactly as I should. Perhaps I should go into more detail in a future video about why an owl would live longer in captivity and how to, you know, help with a bird living that long with its diet, exercise, etc. But I didn't in that video. Very sorry. So this one was from one of our short videos called The Sounds an Owl Makes. In fact, this is the video here. You probably would expect an owl to make a sound a bit like this. Whereas did you know that owls make many other noises, including this, and this, and this, and even this. Did really well, that short. It's quite entertaining, isn't it? This comment from Landy76 says, the last owl was from Wish. €3 if you buy more than 10. Okay. So this comment was left, Cine Black 8079 on one of the short videos. God said no. Someone replied with, no to what? God said no from evicting the owl from their home. Commenting on Owl Diary 33, Wayne Keith 4952. That's not the only sounds barn owl makes. They make many noises, hissing, screeching, chirping, tweeting and trilling. Yes, I know what they're referring to me. I did reply actually, and it makes a very good point. So I often say, the only sound barn owl makes is the screeching sound. Actually, that isn't true. That's the dominant sound. But when we are doing display work and we have various different birds and there's a barn owl screeching, some people can mistake that for a distress call. So I explain that that is the sound of a barn owl. If you hear screeching, then that is a barn owl in the wild, and it's essentially just communicating to us. But yes, they do at times, especially as babies, make lots of other different sounds, which are essentially synthesized noises of the one sound that they can make, shorter, broken up, etc. However, the screeching is the main sound an adult barn owl would generally make. But yes, he's quite right, they make lots of different noises. On the video Be Ready for Anything, which is where I talk about different products you might need to help keep your birds, Free Bird of Reason, 1994, very useful talk. Not much of a comment on that one, he has commented other things, but it is worth looking at his channel if you look at that up, because he has a hawk and he's got some great videos showing it hunting, how he's caring for it and things like that. Just an example of someone doing the right thing with their bird of prey, which also is staying teachable, very important as well. On the video I bought an eagle, I've actually bought another one since, which is why this lovely big aviary behind me is being built. I'm going to do a video on that very soon. Canine Wolf Chi Connection 427 has said, I would say a steps eagle is a good eagle for a first person who isn't a keen hunter. I really like the sound of a steps eagle's sentiment and low prey drive compared to a golden eagle. And this is exactly why we have now 2 steps eagles. They are not going to be killing people's dogs in flying shows, whereas a golden eagle, similar size, maybe a little bit bigger, much more aggressive and much more sort of dangerous in that respect. And if you're doing display work like this, then yeah, if you're not a hunter, steps eagle is actually a great species. I also did a video recently which was a kind of quiz for falconers called How Much Do You Know? And Matthew Long 8569. That's cheered up a horribly wet Thursday a bit, thank you. Always fun to test my horribly limited knowledge. Managed to get all of them right though, so what's the grand prize? And someone comment below, I think, about maybe a speedboat, which we don't have one of them to give you away. But yeah, essentially, if you got them all right, then you do know a fair bit about falconry and keeping birds of prey, because someone who didn't know, we might only get 2 or 3, and that's with just luck, because it was, of course, a basic quiz. But good fun doing that, and I'll do another one soon. I'll make it a bit harder. Too many of you got it all right, so I need to make it harder. On the video I did a couple of years ago called Could This Be Illegal? About DEFRA wanting to ban the tethering of birds of prey in centres at least. And by the way, no update on that a couple of years later. If anyone knows anything, please comment, send me a link. I mean, I am checking the news and I have contacts, but not hearing anything from the government. Typical. Anyway, Little Wiggle Monster 7691, great name, Classic uneducated people pointing fingers. Yeah, good way of putting it really. These things happen generally because people don't understand the practices of what we do. Tethering birds of prey isn't restricting their movement completely, not letting them fly ever and they're just tied to a perch all the time. It's an element of control, giving us that ability to choose where we're placing it, weathering it in the sun for a bit, etc, etc. And banning it is going to be really challenging, especially with new birds that you're training up. Because without the ability to tether your bird, then birds are going to break feathers, they're possibly going to injure themselves, and how is that good for animal welfare? And we'll finish with this one. I did a video about the upside head of a small owl from a few years ago. So this one comes from Octopus Crime, another great name. Chicken and ducks can get a similar thing. It's called wry neck. Would it possible that that's what's happened to this owl? I mean, it's great that I get these comments as well that'll help me. You know, by doing this YouTube channel, it's part of my staying teachable motive. It's part of my training, because if I do a video on a certain species or a certain element of falconry, I will always go and read up and do some fact checking, and I generally will learn new things and also just polish what I already know. And of course, your comments also really do help me to learn extra things as well. The vet at the time didn't mention wry neck, and I don't even know at this point if owls can get it. I will go and research that next, actually. But thank you for all your comments. It really does help kind of build this community here that we have at Owl Adventures.